Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, or as I like to go by, Benjamin D. Luffy. And you are watching a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today is somebody who I had met at Katsucon this year. When I met them, they were wearing this amazing Dobby cosplay. And since then, we've been mutuals up here on Instagram, and that is the talented Dear Wolverine. Wolverine, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad that you're up here on a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? We are going into the Great Turkey War. And what better cosplays to do for this episode than two people who like to eat really, really well. And when I saw that Wolverine was doing Shanks, I was just like, hold on. I got to go change into Luffy. I just did my Luffy cosplay at NecoCon this year. And I was just like, we got to do this. So before we get into today's episode, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into today's interview. So Ron, the first question that I ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. And I know that you saved my life. So tell everybody who you
are. Boy, so my origin story starts when I was like 8 or something, and I had this extracurricular art class. So every day after school I would go to this art class and draw, and there was this one girl who sat next to me, and she was like peak early 2000s teen kid. Like, I'm talking like the big hair, the huge eyeliner, the everything, and I thought she was so fucking cool. I was like, she's so cool, I want to be her friend. So I just kept trying to sit closer to her, and I was like, so like, what do you do for fun? And she's like, probably something you've never heard of. And I was like, well, tell me about it. And she's like, I read manga. Have you heard of it? And I was like, no, because I'm like 8.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, well, I like this thing called Naruto. You've also probably never heard of it.
Dang, it's like she was gatekeeping early on.
Right. And that's the story of how I started reading Naruto, because I wanted to impress a girl in art class. And then it's just been a spiral ever since. And I've been like just a giant nerd and a cosplayer ever since.
That's awesome. So when you were 8 years old and you found out about Naruto and manga, and that's crazy. I want to say I found out about Naruto. I was in middle school at this point. But did you start cosplaying after that? Like, did you even know like what cosplay was after you found out about this? Or was it later on in your life that you found out about it?
Yeah. So it might surprise you to find out that I'm really fucking old. So this was like a really long time ago, before Naruto was even like licensed in the West. So the only way I could read manga was downloading it in like a billion parts on LimeWire. That's what I'm.
Man, hey.
There was no like official manga anywhere. Like, you couldn't buy it. It was all fan translations and stuff. So I was like downloading it on LimeWire, and I think I used to just like Google images of the characters so I could use them as my MSN icons. And I think I stumbled upon a picture of a cosplayer at one point of like a Naruto character that I liked, and I was like, you can do that? You can do that? So I immediately freaked out and was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. Like, I want to do that right now. Like, I saw a Naruto cosplayer just like on Google Images, and was like, this is my little 11-year-old self. So I was 11 in like 2002, 2003. I was like, cosplay, dressing up as anime character. Where can I dress up as anime character? And that's how I found about conventions. So I started when I was 11.
That's awesome. It's crazy that like Naruto was kind of a similar thing for me as well when it came to cosplay. Like, I knew what cosplay was because I had, seen images and stuff online, but like I had never been to a con or anything until me and my family, we were traveling to New York, and we were traveling through Maryland, and there was a con going on in Maryland. And I was just like, wow. So like this is what like a con is. And we just saw all these people walking in the street and whatnot. Now, of course, I'm a teenager at this point. The only anime and manga that I really know is whatever is coming on Toonami or Adult Swim. And we had stopped at a red light, and it was a Gaara cosplayer. and like they
Really?
had the giant shell on their back, and my uncle was just like, "Is that a peanut?" And I was just like, "No." I was just like, "Yo, he has a bunch of sand in there and whatnot." My uncle didn't care what I had to say, but I was just so excited to see this. But again, I didn't start cosplaying until I was older. But I just love that Naruto had like such a impact on us when it comes to cosplay. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it was like my first big love was Naruto. My first cosplay was Deidara from Naruto.
Nice, awesome. Hey, you was already a part of the Akatsuki back then. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I
Exactly.
love it. So like being Datara and cosplaying as that character, going to your first con, how was that experience for you?
Um, I was 11, so I just had fucking stars in my eyes. I had Googled my local. I live in Toronto usually. Right now I'm in Japan, but I usually live in Toronto. My home con is Anime North, so I just like Googled Anime Convention Toronto, and I found Anime North, and then I made my mom take me to it. My poor mom was like, "What the fuck is this?" The whole time. Sorry, I don't know if I could swear.
No, everybody gets one, but I mean, like you didn't already said it 5 times now, so I was just like,
Sorry, I have a potty mouth. Um, my mom was just like, "What is this?" And I was just like, "Cosplayers!" I was so happy.
that's
Like,
awesome.
it was like my grandma made me my Akatsuki cloak. I just like didn't wear a wig. I was like just wore my long blonde hair, and I had like made shit out of tinfoil. So like
That's cool. I want to piggyback off of what you had said about your grandmother making your cloak for you. I always think that it's awesome when you get other family members involved in making, or not making, but helping to make a cosplay for you. And going back then to the early 2000s, it's just like we didn't really have those options to like just go and find the cosplays. Where as easy as it is now to just go on to Amazon and easily get whatever you want, you had to either know how to sew or you had to know somebody that knew how to sew. So that's really awesome that your grandma helped you with your first cosplay.
Yeah, my grandma was a seamstress, so she helped me a little bit, just like learning the basics of sewing. So, and I still like have those skills today, like, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So, when I had met you at KatsuCon, well, first it was my friend Sound God Uzi who had saw your Dobby cosplay. And I can't remember what I was doing, but he was like, "Bro, check out that Dobby cosplayer." And they're doing the white outfit. And I had looked over, I was like, "Yo, that's awesome Dobby cosplayer." And I remember like he was so excited to meet you. And he asked for your photo. And I think that you had told him that he was the first person to come up to you and ask for a photo, and you had worked really, really hard on this cosplay. And I remember you was like, "Look, I even have smoke that can come out of the jacket," and I just thought that was really cool. So I think it's awesome that your grandma, she made your first cosplay for you, and to this day, you make your own cosplay. So I want to know, like, why was it that you wanted to make your own cosplays instead of purchasing them online?
Hmm. I just really like the process. I like making stuff. I mean, I'm also an artist, and I draw, and so I just like making stuff. And like while I do have like a bunch of cosplays that I have bought, if I really love the character, I'm gonna make it because like I put that love of the character into the process of making the cosplay. And then I don't know, just feels like it's unique and it's mine at the end.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that. So I want to ask you now, what has been the hardest project that you worked on?
Mm, that's so hard because a lot of them are really difficult. That Dobby was actually probably one of the toughest things I have done. Because like I had the bodysuit, like the muscle bodysuit, and then I built another bodysuit on top that had like his stitches. And I had to airbrush all of the purple scarring and like paint latex and then airbrush the latex, and then glue all the stitches on. And that jacket actually, like the burned edges of it, I like hand burned that jacket.
Wow.
But I sewed a normal coat, and then I sat there in my apartment with a lighter setting it on fire to give it like that natural burn. And I remember distinctly almost setting my house on fire. So that was pretty tough.
Oh man,
Who's that cosplayer?
Janae Cosmos.
like I can imagine like your neighbors saying like, "What is all that smoke and like that fire? Like what is going on?" It's just like, I'm just working on a cosplay. I'm sorry.
Burning polyester smells so bad. I do not recommend. Do not do this. Do not do this.
That's funny, man. So now I want to ask you, what is some advice that you would give to anybody that would like to get into sewing and stitching? Because like this Luffy shirt that I'm actually wearing right now, one of my friends, he had got me a sewing machine for my birthday this year. And I found this shirt at a thrift store. It was a turtleneck. And I cut it up and I sewed the buttons on it and everything like that. And I was really proud. I mean, it's pretty simple, but still, you know, I was really proud to be able to, you know, sew everything myself and use an actual sewing machine instead of actually hand sewing, because hand sewing, while it is effective, it takes so long. So what is some advice that you would give to beginners that are, you know, getting into sewing and want to become better?
YouTube is your best friend. I honestly look at YouTube tutorials or just like Google like how to do blank for everything. And you can pick up a lot of new skills just by going ahead and trying it. Like, I'm trying to remember. I think especially when I was making my Verosica from Husband Hotel, I literally had never worked putting appliques on vinyl before, so I just literally Googled it and I'm like, okay, let's try it. So try it. Don't be afraid of fucking it up, because fucking it up is how you learn how to do it better next time. I think every single cosplay I've ever made has a number of mistakes on it, but like I see them and I go, okay, next time I make something similar, I know that I need to like do this and do this. So it's just a learning process. So look up tutorials, mess things up, have your sewing machine eat a lot of fabric, you'll get better.
I love that advice. And, you know, that's something that I always tell myself as well. Like, no matter what you do, whether it's a prop or it's an outfit that you make yourself, if you mess up, you know, just tell yourself it'll be better next time, you know, because it's just like, if you already know what you messed up on, you know what to work on next time. So that way that you don't have the same issue as before, you know. And everything isn't always going to be perfect the first time around, but just like a video game, you get the experience points, you level up, and then, you know, it does become perfect. So now I want to keep it on the cosplay stuff, because you've done so many amazing cosplays. I got to ask you, what are your top 5 favorite costumes that you've done?
This is the part where I forget all the cosplays I've ever done. I'm trying to think. I really like being Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, because it's just a really fun cosplay. It's simple, and I just love that character. I really like my Rio from Devilman Crybaby with the 6 wings, because that's always really fun and impressive to wear, and I love him. I love Doflamingo. I love him so much, so I love wearing that one. That one's always really fun. Just the reactions I get from people, especially when I do the walk, is so hilarious. What else have I done?
Hey, you already know your boy loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I do. I was gonna say I really like Dio. Dio is like the rock cosplay. Probably want Dio more than anything else ever. It's like a regular con rewear for me, because what's better than Dio? Dio's like the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
And also JoJo, because I see it behind you. I love Kakyoin. That one's just super fun. And that's also, Kakyoin was actually the first cosplay that I like patterned originally myself from the ground up. Like I didn't use a pre-made pattern or anything, so I was really proud of that one.
That's awesome. And you know, as somebody that loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I could talk about it forever, you know, because I'm a huge JoJo fan. Same thing like My Hero Academia. And then, you know, I like One Piece. I fell off of it, you know, back in the early 2000s, but I just got back into it again. And I just finished the fight with I just finished the CP9 arc. So when I went
Nice.
to NecoCon and I was cosplaying as Luffy, and I saw somebody cosplaying as Rob Lucci, like I was really, really excited because I was just like, I know who Rob Lucci is now, and it was just a fun moment. So I'm going to combine this because, like I said, I can talk about My Hero, JoJo, a little bit about One Piece, but a question that I ask all of my guests that like this stuff: if you had your own ship and you were selling across, trying to find the One Piece, I want to know 5 people who you would have on that ship as a part of your crew, and they can be from One Piece, My Hero Academia, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Only 5 people.
I'm just gonna pick my favorite characters, probably.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, some people be having OP characters on their ship, and I'm just like, you don't have any issues at all. So go ahead.
All right, I would pick, and none of these people would get along, by the way, and we would probably crash and burn on like the first island we got to because they're all terrible people who would hate each other. But I would pick Dio, Scaramouche from Genshin Impact, Gojo, Jujutsu Kaisen, Doflamingo, and Shanks.
Yeah, like you said, y'all probably are gonna crash. Dio,
but I'll have fun.
I think that what would happen is, like, as soon as y'all are about to crash, Dio would freeze time so that way that he could get off the ship, and then all of y'all would just crash. He would probably hope that y'all would crash and burn, so that way that he could start his own crew, and everybody would just treat him as the king. So that would just be incredibly wild. So we're getting close to the end of the interview. And like I mentioned before, the Great Turkey War is coming up. So I gotta know, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
We don't have Thanksgiving here in Japan, and I don't really celebrate it at home, but I am a fan of the sweet potato, just as a general fall treat.
Okay. Yeah, because I know in Canada, because I have some friends that live up there, I believe Thanksgiving is in October, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I was a little confused when you were like, Great Turkey War. I was like, oh, right, it's Thanksgiving in America. Always a fan of a good sweet potato. So
hey, I mean, you can't go wrong with a sweet potato, especially, you can make sweet potato fries, sweet potato tots. And exactly. I found out that there's sweet potato nachos as well, which is weird, but I mean, they exist. But if I have to ask, what is your least favorite? Because I know you say you don't celebrate it, but if you've ever like been to somebody's house that celebrates it or whatnot, what is your least favorite dish around that holiday?
Oh boy, it's stuffing. I hate that stuff.
Oh, stuffing.
I don't know how people eat it. It's so gross to me. I'm so sorry.
But you know what's crazy? It's like, I agree with you to a certain extent, because like when stuffing is first made and you see it, it looks okay, right? But I feel like after, somebody reheats it up, like it looks disgusting. And I'm just like, because all it is just bread and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so strange to me. Like, why isn't it inside the turkey? Like, come on.
I mean, some people do put it inside the turkey, and they say that you're not supposed to because of bacteria and all that stuff. I don't know, but I've never done it. My grandma used to do it until my mom told her to stop doing that because of the bacteria stuff. Rest in peace, Grandma. So we are here at the end of the interview, and Wolverine, I had an incredible time talking to you. The Great Turkey War is coming up, and I'm going to need all the help that I can get. So before I let you go, I just want to say thank you for joining me up here, and let everybody in social media land know where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm Dear Wolverine. Dear like you're writing a letter, and then Wolverine like the superhero on basically every platform. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything.
Awesome. Hey, simple and clean, just like your hero, Benjamin Banks. It is at King Benji _Banks on all platforms except Facebook. On Facebook, type in Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, I need to contact Mrs. Zuckerberg. Thank you all again for watching this new interview of Who's That Cosplayer. Make sure you check out some more interviews because the Great Turkey War is coming up. And like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.